Okay, hi guys. All right, so welcome to the Philly Fox and Danny D Eagles podcast. That's the star of the show, Philly Fox, and I'm your host, Danny D. And we are coming to you from our Eagles perch in the Ed Bobko Memorial Studios in beautiful Morristown, PA. Today we are going to break down Washington and the Eagles at the link.
NFC championship game.
NFC championship game. Oh, man. Everybody was raring to go. We've been waiting for this game all week. So let's start. Washington gets the ball first on the 30, and then on 3rd and 6.
Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, McLaurin gets a first down. Yeah. And on 3rd and 6.
Zacchaeus gets a first, but it was a low throw.
Yeah, low throw right. So he probably could have got more yards on that, and then Bond comes up and makes the hit and keeps it to a smaller gain. So then on 3rd and 5, we got DeJean. He breaks up
the pass to Eckler.
Right. Okay. And 4th and 5.
Ertz gets a first down.
Yeah, Washington is definitely a fourth down team. I mean, be used to this. It's what they've been doing, all season long, and against Detroit. These guys go for it on all four downs. So you got to be prepared. You can't just stop them on 3rd and think they're going to punt all the time. So now we got 3rd and 2. We got Mitchell. He lays out.
Zacchaeus.
Yeah.
Which brings up another 4th down.
Right. And 4th and 2.
It's a Daniel scramble.
Yeah, unfortunately for 5 yards. And like I said, they're a 4-down team. Okay. So then 3rd and 9, we got Eckler. He got stopped short.
And then it brings up 4th and 3.
Right, which we just said. They go for it on 4th down, right? And then here they are.
They're kicking a field goal.
I don't know. It didn't make sense, right? I don't get it, but we like it because, because they might have gotten it. But, if they didn't make it, we would have been pinned way deep inside. I guess they didn't trust their defense or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they had good reason to. All right. Yes. All right. So now we got the Eagles start, and they get the ball on the 40.
Following a Shipley return.
Yeah, what a nice return by Shipley. Nice to see him. Everybody's been stepping up. We got injuries all the time, left and right, and next man up. So then 1st and 10.
Yep, Saquon Barkley to the house.
Yeah, this was a short one. Yeah, just one play. I mean, he gets up there. They thought they had him, and he spins.
He spins out it twice, actually, 2 tacklers.
Yeah, and he's got great vision, man. He was gone, man. They thought he had him, and he just took off. I mean, what a way to start the game for the offense. And then we got
Elliott extra points.
Yeah.
But it took Washington 7 minutes to get 3 points. It took us 18 seconds to get 7.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest stat.
Yeah. And then what? And then Barkley, look at his yards.
Yes, one carry, 60 yards, averaging 60 yards a carry.
Yeah, those are some pretty good stats. And of course, our boy Elliott came through and he made an extra point. We picked on him last week, so we're gonna. If
praise
he does
him this week.
Absolutely, when he does well.
Yes.
All right, so now Washington gets the ball on the
27.
27, okay? And then after a couple of short runs and a pass on 1st and 10.
Oh, yes, Brown catches it, but Cooper DeJean forces the fumble. And
right.
Bond recovers it.
Yeah. It was
both of them.
Yeah, it was they combined on the hit. Bond punches it out, and then it was
Blankenship?
Yeah, it was Blankenship that actually made the recovery. Hey, you know what? We get stuff mixed up now and then, and we're like,
Like it's not normal that 2 guys force a fumble. It's usually a one-person thing.
Yeah, but it was really it was a great combination on that, and then Bond, like I said, he made that punch, and he got the ball loose. Okay, so then we recover the ball on the Washington 48. Okay, so the Eagles on 2nd and 10. Jalen hit Goddard.
Yes.
For a 10-yarder.
And then Devontae for a 20-yarder. But
yeah.
How he stayed in bounds, like it's a Nick Saban thing. Like he's been teaching his receivers at Alabama how to stay in.
Yeah. Good coaching there. And I mean, it's like a ballerina, man. I mean, if you've just watched the one replay, you see how he actually took his foot and then he turned it and angled it. And it was amazing the way he did that. I mean, what control, right? So then on second and 7, after a short Gainwell run, we got a completion
To A.J. Brown.
Yeah, to the Washington 4. Nice pass and good yardage after the catch. Yeah, on that. Real nice play. Jalen's arm's looking pretty good today. We're not saying it doesn't look good. What I'm saying is, people have been saying that we need to see more passing from Jalen, especially now maybe that he's a little dinged up and his knee's a little dinged up and stuff.
Yes.
So anyway, now it's first and goal.
And then you have a second TD run for Saquon.
Yeah.
On 2 runs, 2 TDs, what a stat line.
Yeah, but unfortunately this one brought down his average, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's averaging 32 yards a carry. Yeah, 32 yards a carry.
Yeah. And then Elliott comes in and he gets the extra point. And now the score is
14-3.
Right, wonderful. That's
because 11 points is different than 10 points, for sure. Because force them to go for 2 instead of kicking the extra point to tie it,
Right.
Because if you miss just one of them, then you don't have to go for 2. So
right.
That's my point.
Yeah, got it. So now Washington gets the ball on the 27. We've got some short runs, an incomplete pass. And we think we got them, right? We think they're ready to punt, and
they fake it.
They fake it. Oh, I mean, had everybody fooled. Okay. Then on 1st and 10 on the 46.
Oh, yep, a sack by Burks.
Yeah. Daniels got sacked. I mean, this was a difference between the last game. They were getting to him, but they weren't getting him. And if you can get to him and get inside his head, it's going to make a difference. And you said he was sacked by who? Burks?
Yes, the guy who's replacing Nakobe Dean.
Nakobe Dean, man, nice to see that. I mean, again, next man up. We've been talking about it, and we'll continue to keep talking about it. Yes. All right. So then on 2nd and 16, that's when he gets back and gets more. What do we write there? Then gets it all back. That's what it was.
They completed a first down. I know.
Oh, man, right? So we get that sack and we get those yards, and then they get it, and they get all of it back. And this resulted in a
46-yard field goal.
Yeah. So, I mean, but at least it was only a field goal. So now this is 2 times. The first 2 drives, they score, but they only come away with 6 points. And the Eagles are coming away with
touchdowns.
4. Yeah. So I mean, we'll trade field goals for touchdowns all day long, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. The math adds up there quick. Okay. So, all right. I'm trying to get things in order here so that we don't make so many mistakes.
Yes.
Okay. We're trying to get better here.
Yes.
All right. So now the Eagles get the ball on the 29, all right?
Yes.
And that's after a Shipley return.
Yep.
Again, love this next man up. Love Shipley. Okay. But on 1st and 10, Barkley
lost 3. It's one of the only times they'll probably ever get him in the backfield the way he runs.
Yeah. Positive. Yeah, usually it's positive yardage with him. So then on 2nd and 13.
A 15-yard pass to AJ.
Yeah, sweet. Again, Jalen being crisp with his passing, and not just with with his passes, but it's the decision making, right?
Oh yes, he looks a lot, back to health, and right, he's more calmer in the pocket, because he's shaking off the injury, he's back in the feel of things, is the way I'm saying it.
Yeah, and it's not just a decision on whether to throw the ball or not. It's when to run and when to throw the ball away. I mean, those are all decisions that you have to make real quick on the run, and he's looking really good right now. Okay, so now we got on 2nd and 15 because of a false start.
Oh, yeah, Jalen hits Gainwell for 8 yards.
For 8 yards, right? And
which is 3rd and 7.
What's that?
Results in a 3rd and 7 because it was 2nd and 15.
Oh, okay, right.
And then, he hits Goddard for a 15-yard pass.
Okay.
For a first down, and he broke a tackle. He got to the marker, but broke a tackle at the marker, so he got 8 more yards.
Yeah, love that guy. I mean, I've said it before, right? We didn't know how much we missed him until he came back. The guy's been on fire. Jalen has done a really good job of targeting him, and he's a moose out there, man. He's hard to bring down. Okay, so now we got then we got what? 8-yard pass to Gainwell. Okay, have I spoken lately? Right.
Yes.
And then of course that leads to
Tush push.
Yeah, on third and one. Yep. And that was for a first down. And then after a sack on
third and 6.
Elliott
misses the field goal, but I mean it was a long field. Like we were questioning why is Sirianni kicking it here because he could punt it and pin Washington deep and it's not a give me field goal, you know.
Yeah, it's almost like he didn't want to change what was going on because it looked like they were going for the field goal, setting it up, and then he got that loss. I kind of felt like it took him out of field goal range, but yet Sirianni did it. I'm not going to question him. I mean, he had his reasons. Maybe he was trying to
instill confidence back in him and stuff.
Yeah, put some confidence in him, but missing it didn't help his confidence.
Well, that was more about the field position for Washington. If you don't make it, that was why I was questioning it.
Yeah, it makes sense on our end, but Nick's our guy, so we're not gonna question that. Okay. So let's see. So now we got Washington getting the ball
at the 44.
Yeah, at the 44, and on first and 10, he's scrambles for 6 to the 50-yard line, right?
Yes.
And then on second and 4,
pass to Bates.
Yeah, for a first down. First and 10, Robinson for 7.
Yep.
Yeah. And on third and 3,
McLaurin. He gets a big long TD.
Man, that. You know what?
But it was on Slay. It wasn't on Mitchell, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it was, I mean, it doesn't matter who it was on, to be honest with you. I mean, and then once he made that catch and he got free, he was just hard to break down. I mean, he showed why he's one of the better receivers in the league and why he had a good season. But then we got a little bit of a
break,
break there. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, a break. Because they
missed the 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
But it was a weird play call. Like he threw it to Eckler in the backfield, and Eckler had to run 10 yards just to get, what the heck are they doing?
Yeah, I don't know if that was the way the play was designed or not. Maybe that's just the way it ended up, but I don't think...
Because even the announcers were saying, why would you throw it to him in the backfield like that and stuff?
Yeah, it didn't make sense. Okay. So now the score is 12-14. Well, 14-12, however you want to look at it. But the Eagles are only up by 2 points. Okay, I'm just going to take a sip of water here real quick. But the Eagles get the ball on the 28,
and then they start on first and 10 with an 8-yard pop pass, a term that you've been you don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it. I like
play action pass.
Action pass, but these young kids, they like to come up with their own names. They don't like the stuff the old guys use or whatever. I don't know. So anyhow, and then of course third and 1 comes up, and you know what happens on third and 1? Tush push. Yep, and of course they got it. And then on first and 10, we got a Hurts
scramble for 2 yards.
Yeah, okay. But on second and 8,
Barkley gets 10 in the first. So.
Yeah, and he was hitting some people hard on that one. Yep, but and then that brings up they ended up not able to get a first down then later, and they ended up
with a 4th and 5.
With a 4th and 5, yep. And man, they went for it on 4th down.
Because it would have been risky because if they didn't get it, Washington would have got the ball around midfield. So big risk by Sirianni.
Yeah, I mean, just totally the opposite. I mean, both coaches are just kind of
trying to outdo each other with the 4th down.
Yeah, I guess. And
but they did go for it, and then Jalen hit AJ for a 31-yard pass, so it paid off.
Yeah, to the Washington 14. I mean, beautiful play, wonderful play. Again, Jalen is looking really good out there. And, we didn't talk about this yet, but AJ doesn't seem to have any type of
ailments
or anything like that. His knee seems to be healed up and stuff. So nice to see him out there getting those passes and those connections and stuff because he really didn't get that many the past couple weeks. So and then how did we get from here to there? So okay, so yeah. So then unable to convert, but then Lattimore held
Smitty in the end zone.
Yeah, okay. So then we were able to get down to a 1st and goal, and you know what happens then?
Yep, a tush push.
Tush push, right? And we had a little extracurricular activity going on in the
after the touchdown.
Yeah,
because Lattimore and AJ, like Lattimore was like tackling him, grabbing him, like and stuff. And
yeah, grabbing his jersey and whatever. They were. I mean, let's look. They showed the whole replay, and AJ was definitely giving him an earful and a face full of whatever. You know, those two don't like each other, but he kept his calm a lot more, and Lattimore ended up getting
a flag, and then Eagles chose to take it on the 2-point try instead of kicking the extra point.
Yeah,
because you get it from the 2 to the 1.
Right,
and you know what comes next. So
yeah, but unfortunately,
they actually stopped it somehow. Like
yeah,
it's one of the rare times we'll ever be saying that on this show. Like
yeah, but I will tell you, I think people are starting to learn some things. They're starting to try some things. It looked like Washington, instead of trying to match them up like strength wise or whatever, they decided to like kind of like sprawl out and put all their weight down onto the ground and create more resistance and more force, and it seemed to work. So credit them for coming up with something. So all right, so what do we got? So the score is
20-12.
Yep.
I mean, I would have loved the extra point because it would have made it a 2-score game, but you know, you can't fault them because the tush push is almost automatic, you know?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, to be honest with you, feeling good, but not feeling great. I mean, because so far, Washington has mostly beat themselves, right? Now, of course, that's how teams lose, right?
You beat yourself.
By beating yourself, and that's true. Excuse me. Oh.
The Lions did it against Washington last week, you know?
Yeah. Right?
They beat themselves.
Okay. So anyway, so now Washington gets the ball. We kick off to Washington, and but we get a lucky break, right?
Because McNichols fumbles, but another questionable play call by Dan Quinn. Like, why isn't McCaffrey out there? Because he returned all the other kickoffs.
Yeah, but it worked in our favor, and Shipley, who's been, he's the one that made the hit.
And then Gainwell recovered.
And Gainwell recovers. Man, that was such a great, I mean, this is 2 weeks in a row. I mean, was it the Rams or was that back to Green Bay where they had the hit on the kickoff where it resulted
in the Green Bay game?
Was it the Green Bay game? Yeah.
But people were saying, oh, like Green Bay should have had, you know, like, well, you know, Eagles got it, you know, like, just deal with it, you know. You know.
So anyway, but yeah, great hit by Shipley and nice turnover. So the Eagles get the ball on the Washington 24.
And they start with a 7-yard pass to Goddard.
7-yard pass to Goddard, right? And then Jalen scored, but it was nullified
by a Dickerson hold.
Yeah, unfortunately. And then on 3rd and 10.
So the 14-yard pass to Barkley.
Right.
Well, it resulted because of the late hit. You know, it would have been short of the marker, but it ended up being a 14-yard gain because a late hit out of bounds.
Yeah, it was definitely late. And it was definitely out of bounds. Okay, and then we got a 1st and 10.
Oh, yes, and then Barkley runs it to the 4.
Barkley to the 4. And then on the next, and then we got the TD.
From Hurts to Brown.
Yeah, another nice pass and another nice catch. And of course, our boy Elliott
makes the extra point.
Yeah, so now it's 27-12. Now that's feeling better now.
But you're still like 37 seconds for Washington to do something, and
well,
you know, prevent and all that, you know, garbage.
Yeah, we don't like. Yeah, I say that, you know, prevent can prevent you from winning. That's for sure. So that's what we did. We went into our prevent defense, and of course they worked their way down the field, got in field goal range.
Yes, and they made a 42-yarder.
Yep, and so at the end of the half, it's
27-15. Yep.
Yep, and
I mean, it's the end of the half. I mean, I feel good for the most part. Eagles getting the ball out the half.
Yeah, I mean, it's 13 points. I'm sorry, 12 points.
I mean, offense looks solid. Like, defense looked good outside of like the prevent and like that one McLaurin play, I'd say.
Yeah.
Those were like the only 2 knocks on them.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a good first half. I feel good about the lead. Some of the play calling was a little, well, not play calling, but the decisions on 4th down.
Like, you know, like kicking the 54-yarder when you could just punt them and, you know, like, you know, the field position game and stuff.
Yeah, and Washington going for the going for it or not going for it, and then taking the field goal and stuff. So. But of course, turnovers are the difference, and luckily they're going in our favor. Yes. Okay, so now second half, we got the Eagles get the ball to start the second half. Like we said, that was going to be a good thing, and they start on the 31.
But they go 3 and out.
So. Yeah, unfortunately. Okay. But Washington gets the ball on the 28.
And then they go 3 and out.
And they go 3 and out. So they just kind of swap that. So now we start with the Eagles on the 42, and then on 1st and 10.
Yep, he hits AJ and he takes it to the Washington 42.
Yeah, what a combination today. These guys, I mean, sure, he's spreading the ball around. Goddard's got some good looks and stuff, but just love to see it when Jalen and AJ get together. And then on 1st and 10, he goes back to his other favorite target today.
Goddard for 7 yards.
7 yards, right. And then on 2nd and 3, we got a 26-yarder.
To Goddard.
Yeah, and that was down to the 9-yard line. And then, of course, we got Jalen running in for the score.
Yep, and makes it 34-15 with the Elliott extra point.
But
this one actually counted, just to say. Because the last one didn't count, last Jalen touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like they nullified it. So
yeah. So
this one counted.
And and something else we didn't talk about, right? So he came into the game injured. Okay, I mean, I gotta tell you, he didn't look that bad out there, especially on his north-south running. He seemed to.
Because, he faked out the whole defense on the 9-yard where, like, they were expecting a pass, and they didn't expect him to go to the left and just fake everyone out.
Yeah, and maybe also because of the injury, right? They're thinking about it. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing Lehigh. Lehigh creamed Lafayette the other night in basketball by 39 points. Great win. Okay, let's get back to this. So, all right. So, Jalen scores on that, 15-34. Man, that is just, that's wonderful. That's looking real good, and it's starting to. We don't want to, we didn't want to jinx it, but I got to tell you, everybody that's watching this game's already starting to think about
the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl, another one of those, right? That's what.
We'll get 2 flags in here, as someone pointed out to me.
Yeah, there you go.
One of my followers said 2 flags, so
okay. Well, there's room. If we slide the one over, there's room for one next to it. Absolutely. So we're looking forward to that. Okay, so where are we at here? So now Washington starts on the 30. Okay, so we got a Brown catch.
An Ertz catch.
Yeah, then to Zacchaeus, right?
And then Jay Daniels runs it in for the score.
Runs it in for a score. Okay.
What I had a problem with, he was dancing around like they were winning and stuff.
Oh, yeah, in the end zone,
and they're
right?
down 2 scores yet.
Yeah. Well, there's an old saying, the old guys say, act like you've been there before, act like you've done it before.
Yes.
And, but you know what? Let them celebrate, because
there won't be much more celebrating.
There wasn't going to be much more celebrating going on and stuff. Yeah. But that being said, though, it was still way too easy, okay? You know me, I'm not a perfectionist, but I just don't like to see easy scores. I don't like it when they just go up and down. But anyway, it's still a
11-point game.
11-point game, and it's still a 2-score game. So we're in good shape. All right. So now the Eagles get the ball back on the 31, right?
Yep, and they start with a Barkley run.
For 5 yards. And then an 11-yard.
Pass to Smitty.
And another 11-yard.
To Goddard this time.
But to Goddard, right? And that was to the Washington
42.
Yep. And then after a 3-yard loss.
They punt, but now we're quite why are they punting when they didn't punt earlier? Why'd they kick the field goal and miss? I'm just saying, what is Sirianni doing?
Yeah, I don't know. And you know what? And who are we to, to knock what they're doing? They're winning, okay? Yes. That's all they're doing. That's all the quarterback is doing. That's all Sirianni is doing. That's all they're doing is winning. So, yes. All right. So now they punt, and then Washington gets the ball on the 20-yard line, and they start out.
A 16-yard pass to Zach Ertz.
Yeah, hey, I guess there's a lot of people that, probably still have a little thing for Ertz, right?
When you want us a Super Bowl, I'll never hate him. Like, even if he played for the Cowboys,
Yeah. And, so part of you wants to see him do good, but not too good, right? Not to the point that he hurts us, okay? But he's having a good game. And, man, I tell you what, I forget how big that dude is. He is one big guy. So then we got a 3rd and 10, and we got another
pass to Ertz.
Yeah, guys having a good day, and he's getting old, right? I mean,
he's 34. I mean, I don't know. This might have been his last good year. You don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, he talks like he's getting near the end of his career, but it sure as heck doesn't look like it. Okay, and then I like this, and then on 1st and 10.
Oh, yep, Eckler catches it, but fumbles like right after.
Yeah, and then
Burks forced it. Bond recovered it.
Yeah.
Once again, Burks for saying his name. So.
Yeah, Burks and Bond.
Yes.
I mean, for a guy who's a replacement, right? A guy who's coming in just because of the injury to N'Kobe. I mean, he's playing like a first stringer.
Well, yes, you wouldn't know he's a backup.
Yeah. If somebody else just started watching this, not knowing anything about it, they said, "Man, that guy's good." They probably think he's making a lot of money. So, all right. So now what do we got here? So we got they have the Eagles get the ball on their own 49. And then on 1st and 10, we go to AJ
for 19 yards.
Yeah, good yards after
the catch. Like we said it earlier, we're saying it again,
Yeah, I mean, he absolutely he's definitely doesn't look injured at all out there. And then on 2nd down,
Barkley takes it to the one. Like we thought he was gonna get in, but he was just short.
Oh man, yeah, they just tripped him up. Thought it was gonna be his. That would have been his third
of the day.
Third of the day, and then this is funny, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now it's 1st and goal, right? And then we get a
penalty on Washington,
right?
Defensive offsides.
Yeah, okay, no big deal, right? So. We get another
one, yes.
Yeah, but the whole thing was, right, it wasn't that it were just offsides. It was that Luvo, is that who it was? Yeah, whatever his name is, okay. The way he was jumping over the thing, I mean, he was just diving right over and trying to just hit Jalen. And so I think that had something to do with it, but then they gave him a
warning, like if you do it again, you'll be out of the game. Eject it,
Or yeah.
Unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike.
Eject it,
Yeah. So then, what happens? They do it again.
Well, but it's Jonathan Allen this time also.
Right. It wasn't the same. It wasn't him jumping over the top. It was a different player.
And then the referee said, if you do it again, we'll just award the score.
Yeah. But, I mean, the ball was inching so close to the goal line. And Washington... to their credit, I mean, to defend them a little bit, I mean, where were they going to go? They couldn't go back any further because if they go back any further, they're conceding the touchdown, right? And when they showed the shot right down the goal line, and you could see where the helmets were lined up. I mean, they were in the neutral zone, and one of the guys was actually over past the line and stuff. And I think at that point they just kind of gave up a little bit because they went right in for the score. So and then of course we got our
guy Elliott making the extra point.
Yep, we picked on him, so we got to give him credit when he's doing good, and he's hitting them all. He missed that field goal,
but it wasn't an easy one. It was a 54-yarder. Like that's not a chip shot.
No, and and he's making the extra points, and the extra points are to me more critical than making a 50-some yarder.
Well, especially 2 weeks from now, actually in the Super Bowl, the extra points will be really crucial. So
yeah, you don't want to leave any points on the field. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so now we got Washington starting on their own 30. And then what do we got here? Oh, so on 4th and 6.
They hit Ertz. We've been saying this all day. That's who they've been going to. So.
Yeah. It's kind of been like his pacifier, his safety valve there. It's just who he goes to. And then they turned it over on downs, which... that was kind of putting the nail in the coffin for him, I feel.
Because the Eagles get a short field now.
Yeah, on the Washington 41, and then we got a Schmitty with a pass, right, for 6 yards.
Yep. Yeah. Goddard got a penalty. What Goddard was held, that is,
Oh, okay, right. They got the penalty on him. And, what I didn't like, I didn't talk about this earlier, but, Brady, okay, I don't know. I don't really like him as an announcer. Every now and then he adds a little insight or whatever, but earlier in the game, Goddard was going across the end zone for a pass, and they were hanging all over him. And he goes, and he made this comment. He says, "Well, he's a big guy. They don't get those kind of calls. He's supposed to just handle it." Well, they gave him the call on this one, Tom Brady. Yes. So anyway, so then we got, and then what happens on the next one?
Well, it's a running play to Goddard.
Yeah. Right, so now we're using them. We're using them in the backfield too. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind using him as a backup for if Jalen's ever hurt. Using him as for on the tush push. Yep. And then he didn't get that third touchdown before,
but Barkley got it this time.
Yeah, on a 4-yard run. And
extra point was good.
Extra point was good by Elliott, and now it's 48 to 23. Wow, what a game! What a game! If you ain't feeling good now, you don't deserve to feel good. All right, and we got Washington gets the ball on the 35, and they drive all the way to the
Eagles 29.
29.
But Mitchell intercepts it near the end zone, and that pretty much puts the nail in the coffin.
Yeah,
if it wasn't already in.
Yeah. They were already done, but that what a game by him. What a game. He's no rookie.
Well, he's not playing like it.
Yeah, and the way he and then he was hurt. He was hurt, and then. People were worried whether he was going to play, and he comes back and he's playing exceptional. Okay, so now the Eagles got the ball on the 20, and
the Will Shipley drive, we call it.
Yeah, man, this was love it for the guy, love it. Another guy coming in, stepping up, next man up, and then he gets this. He gets 2 runs
of 16 and 57 yards each.
Right. And then a couple plays later, they gave him the opportunity on 2nd and 2,
and he punches it
in. Good for him. Absolutely. And our guy Elliott
makes the extra point,
and now it's
55 to 23.
55. I'm telling you, I don't care how big of an Eagles fan you are. If you thought that they were going to score 55 points going into that game, that's incredible. And the defense, okay? To me, the defense was what was going to be the difference in this game, because that was what I thought lost the last game. We gave up too many points.
Because we let Jay and Daniels scramble and extend plays, and we didn't do that this time.
Yeah, of course we're talking like the game's over, and it's technically not over at this point, but it is over. There's nothing else to talk about as far as for Washington. Because what did they end up doing? They
turned it over on downs.
Yeah, they turned it over on downs, and so there's nothing else to talk about. But great game. Great game. It's incredible job. Okay, so I think I might have lost a page here that has what I wrote down about the game balls and stuff, and that's over here. But we know what we're gonna do and say on that. We already
made it out. So.
Talked about it and stuff, and we didn't actually talk. And then we're also gonna talk a little bit. I hope it's not going too long. We're going to talk a little bit about the coaching staff and stuff, but let's go right to game balls, okay? So on offense, who are you going to go with?
I go with Saquon just because he was having monster runs. Right off the bat, 60 yards to the house.
60 yards. Oh man, what a day for him. I don't have his stats right here in front of me, but they're going to be some really. I do have to go back and say, if you remember, I predicted he was going to have at least 2 runs of 50 yards or more. I was wrong. He only had 1, and it was for 60. Okay, and I also predicted he was going to have 150 yards. I think he was in the 120-ish range or whatever. I was a little high on that, but you know what? It's okay. So, all right, defense. Who do you got? Who are you going to give it to on defense,
well,
right?
Zach Bond, he was forcing fumbles, recovering fumbles. He was just in the backfield. His presence was definitely felt.
Oh yeah, punching out that the ball on that punch, getting the fumble and everything. He's just all over the field. Okay, and so I got a weird one here for you, and because to be honest with you, I tried to think about it, and I'm like, I don't know, man. It's just, Barkley. I can't argue with what he said. But then you got Jalen. Look how good of a day he had. Look how good of a day AJ had. Goddard. Shipley.
Yes.
Okay. And then the lineman, Dickerson, right?
Oh, yes. Playing through a hurt knee and stuff.
Yeah, with the hurt knee. I mean, the guy can barely walk, and people are trying to get him out of it. He's like, no, get away. Cam wants to come in and relieve him or whatever, and he's like, I got it.
Well, with a bad back, he still came in and played some snaps
later on. And then in the second half, he finally did give in and whatever. So my point is, I can't give it to anybody. I'm having such a hard time. So, and then I think about the defense, and I'm like, okay,
because like I said, the whole defense came to play, compared to the last time we played Washington. So
yeah, I mean Carter, Mitchell, DeJean, everybody. They played such a good game, but I really couldn't come up with it. And what I really came up with was this. So I'm going to give one ball to the brotherhood, and that's what that team is. It's a brotherhood. And the other one I'm going to give it to is the brotherly love that those guys have for each other, okay, which is fitting in the city of brotherly love, right?
Yes.
But if you think about this, who is responsible for the brotherhood and for the brotherly love?
Nick Sirianni,
okay? So give him 2 balls, give him 1 ball, give him whatever.
Give them all 12 game balls.
Yeah.
Because there's 12 per team, so give them all 12.
Give them all 12. That guy deserves it, okay? How he put this team together. Vic did his job on defense. Kellen did his job with offense. We got all these individual stars. But this is the guy that kept it all together. This is the guy that listened to the O-line. This is that said, hey, we want to run the ball more. We think we'd be more effective featuring Saquon, okay? This is the guy that kept it together, all right? He created a culture where the next man up all the time. How many guys next man up? People blamed what happened to Detroit on all these injuries and stuff. Maybe they didn't happen in the same timing with the Eagles, but every time somebody went down, somebody stepped up, right?
And Detroit didn't have that depth,
And they didn't have the depth. They didn't have the brotherhood. They didn't have the brotherly love because they didn't have Nick Sirianni.
Yes.
Great job, Nick Sirianni. I hope that didn't vibrate the camera too much. I was just banging on the table. Okay, so... Well, if we're going to talk about the coaches, we already talked about Nick. I mean, it's a fantastic job. And what about the coordinators?
I said Moore, Fangio, they both get an A+ pretty much because, like I said, both units dominated. Yeah. Except for maybe a few plays here and there, but, there's going to be plays during a game,
Oh, on defense, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And offense, I mean, Kellen Moore, I mean, he called some plays that we hadn't seen before. We hadn't seen
Goddard running it
and stuff like that, and just the amount and just like the selection and how he was putting the drives together, and then Jalen executing it, So great job all around, man. I tell you, we probably said most of it during it. And everybody, I think, who I wanted to kind of give an attaboy to, we did along the way.
The whole team deserves an attaboy. Coaches too,
Yeah,
everybody.
Yeah, and including the our whipping boy for the past couple of weeks,
Jake Elliott.
Yeah,
he made all his extra points.
He did, and I don't hold that field goal against him at all because Nick maybe put him in a situation he shouldn't have been in, but that doesn't matter. When you're missing him from over 50, I don't hate you, and we already knew that his over 50s were a little challenged. But, yeah, I mean, great game, and we're going to New Orleans, okay? Well, we're not. I'm not. I mean, and I don't think Philly is. I don't know.
If I could, I would, but
yeah.
I have obligations. So.
Yeah. Well, they, they claim they got this bus on WIP that they're going to be taken down there, but I think that was all just something that for talk on the radio. I can't imagine a whole busload of fans, including all those personalities and stuff on there. Those especially with you, Douglas, that probably end up getting in trouble. I guess they got to go to Buc-ee's. So, all right. Well, I guess 40 minutes. We gotta end this thing. All right. So let's. So how do we end this? I don't have all my notes with me. So all right. So you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter,
Instagram
and YouTube, okay? And then subscribe so you don't miss an issue. And I think I missed the other part. Remember,
if you don't hate us, like us.
Like us, right? Okay. And then we're going to do and just so you know ahead of time, we're gonna do an EAGLES after the Fly Eagles Fly.
Definitely, you got to do them all. We're on the Super Bowl, baby.
Oh man, I think that's what's. Hey, and just so you guys know, I opened up a pack of cards the night before, and I ended up getting a couple of rookie cards. One of Jeremiah Trotter Jr. and the other one of Cooper DeJean, and I thought of it as a good luck charm. And I don't know if it really was or wasn't. But I did, and I'm kind of proud of him. I
Jeremiah
really
Trotter's proud of his son right now,
Yeah, absolutely.
Eagles legend,
Yeah, and Cooper DeJean, another one of these guys that is definitely not
playing like a rookie.
No, not at all. So okay, so let's go. Fly Eagles fly, and then we're gonna go. EAGLES Eagles! All right, Super Bowl, here we come.